My name is Tarmack, and this is your game industry news wrap-up for the week of February 18th, 2017. At the Game Creators Conference in Japan, Nintendo appeared at a session alongside Capcom to discuss the Switch. The big news from the session is that the development kit for the Switch is planned to cost around 50,000 yen, which translates into about $450 US. This is a rather comparable point when looking at the Xbox One, where the base console can be switched into a development mode. And a stark contrast to the over $2,000 you'll need to spend on a PS4 dev kit unless you can get Sony to lend you one for a limited period of time. Interestingly, I've had multiple sources claim that Switch specs remain absent from the Nintendo developer portal along with PC comparable specs so that developers can at least get started being absent as well. Wouldn't want any of those indie studios having games ready for launch, yeah? Still, a $450 cost for a dev kit is entirely reasonable, so I hope it works out for them. No release date is yet known for the dev kits. Todd Howard has confirmed that Bethesda Games Studios has 2 unknown full titles in production and 1 mobile title that has yet to be announced as well. New details about the titles are scant, and unfortunately we don't yet know whether they'll be shown at the Bethesda E3 press event on June 11th. He did go as far as to say that the 2 full titles are the kinds of games that people are used to from Bethesda Game Studios. So, wide open spaces full of physics bugs, cool scenery, steadily thinning dialogue trees, steadily improving gunplay, and a game engine covered in duct tape and Bondo. I'm thinking that the mobile title, though, will be an Elder Scrolls geocaching app like Pokemon Go, where you're out to hunt for dragons and power words in the real world. And that way you can scare everyone on the bus by yelling into your phone. Capcom was asked during a recent investor call about the 4 million units of Resident Evil 7 it expected to sell by the end of their fiscal year. As it turns out, the game has already sold about 3 million units and has made back the money invested in producing it, which is certainly good news. Now, if Capcom can continue making games like Resident Evil 7, which aren't filled to the brim with microtransactions, selling finished content on the disc, or selling unfinished games as complete, I could rethink my boycott. Not holding my breath, but as with any recovery, it begins with a first step. And this story has way too many critics in it. Popular media aggregator MetaCritic appears to be trying to push newcomer OpenCritic out of the market. Recently, OpenCritic, which is a less well-known and more grassroots website for getting game review information, changed their site to allow for international publications to submit game reviews. Many of these international publications lately have stopped providing links to them where they have these translations posted. In fact, according to OpenCritic, they've been told that these links cannot be provided as it is a condition of them actually being included on the MetaCritic page. Oddly enough, MetaCritic has also been taking a few pages from OpenCritic's playbook, including unscored reviews, tweeting out embargo details, and such. So, for those publications out there who are willing to sign exclusivity details on your review content with MetaCritic, well done. You've done an excellent job of telling MetaCritic that they are more valuable than you are by what is essentially begging for page space. Me, I've been using OpenCritic for a while now, and I haven't gone to MetaCritic in ages. Dota 2 has hit something of a milestone by having recorded 3 billion game lobbies being created, meaning effectively 3 billion games of Dota 2 have happened. I don't really have anything to add to this because I have a hard enough time finishing a single game without hating myself, let alone trying to comprehend why anybody goes back for a second. You may have heard of a Kickstarter for a game called Apocalypse Now, a game based on the movie. Well, that Kickstarter was not successful, being cancelled with 9 days remaining at only $170,000 of their $900,000 goal. Immediately after canceling the Kickstarter, the developers started their own pledge-based website with a staggering $5.9 million pledge goal, which has currently raised a bit over $200,000 with only 619 pledges, compared to the 2,700 backers that they picked up on their Kickstarter campaign that raised less money. Is that shady? Maybe a wee bit. It's an average backer amount of over $300. Some gamers must sure be desperate to have this game. Also, if you only needed $900,000 on Kickstarter, why do you need $5.9 million now? So many questions, so many reasons to stay away from funding this. According to Nintendo, a few Switch units which have shown up online in various places, including some lovely YouTube unboxings displaying the UI and setup of the device, are actually tablets stolen from North American distributors. One user on YouTube was contacted by Nintendo after claiming an unnamed retailer shipped it early, and has since sent the unit back to Nintendo saying he's out the hardware and the money, but it's not the end of the world, which is definitely what someone who legitimately got the console shipped early would do. It's out in less than 2 weeks, so I'm not terribly sure that Nintendo can control this kind of thing much longer. Of note, in the video posted, the Switch available storage on its 32GB internal drive is a usable amount of about 26 gigs, giving us about a 6 gig OS install right out of the gate, so that's not great. I mean, my phone is only a 32 gig model, and it's got about the same amount of usable game space as the Switch does. And sure, like some will inevitably defend, the Switch supports expansion storage, though defending a product by saying you can spend money to mitigate issues that shouldn't be there is a little bit odd. Nintendo fans sure do like having to buy lots of extra stuff. This has been your Game Industry News Wrap-Up for the week of February 18th, 2017. If you enjoy the news wrap-up, you should definitely be subscribed. And if you want to suggest stories to be included in future wrap-ups, the best way to do that is get on Discord and chat. Link is in the description. My name is Tarmack. Thanks for watching.